Hey guys, welcome back to Shop Foreman Garage. Today we are working on this 2020 CX-5. It's all-wheel drive flavor. We are going to replace the torque converter. Some of these vehicles have problems with transmission, making a chirp noise between third and fourth gear. It's really hard to hear it, but once you hear it enough, you'll hear it, you'll recognize it, and you'll hear it. I used to have a video showing where you could actually hear the noise. It's really hard to make a video or record the noise unless you had a microphone or something sitting underneath the hood. But way back, years ago, whenever you had an issue with one of these transmissions making this chirp noise between third and fourth gear, you would have to contact Techline, and Techline would always tell you replace the transmission, and so you would get their authorization and you'd put a new transmission in it. Now there's this bulletin. This bulletin is 05-005/23. Yeah, it came out in November 14th of 2023, and it doesn't deal with just the CX-5. It's actually the so first of all, it seems to be only vehicles with cylinder deactivation. How cylinder deactivation affects transmission shifting, I have no idea. But so if the vehicle has cylinder deactivation, it's a real easy way to find out, besides popping the hood and looking for the solenoids and stuff like that. If you looked at the VIN, on the 8th digit of the VIN is an M as in Mike, and it's a 2.5 liter, then it has cylinder deactivation. So this covers 2017 through 24 CX-5. With a 6-speed automatic transmission, 18 through 21 Mazda 6, 19 through 24 Mazda 3, and 2020 through 24 CX-30. Yeah. So it's weird that the thing came out in 23, yet they're going all the way up to 24. They must know something we don't, which, obviously they do. So what the problem is, there's a chirp noise from the automatic transmission shifting between third and fourth gear while driving, and the cause is a contamination of iron powder due to excessive wear on the lockup clutch and the torque converter. So because of that, we're going to replace the torque converter. We're gonna have to drop the transmission. It means we're gonna drop the subframe, gotta drop the transmission, and pull the torque converter out, put a new torque converter in it, and then we have to flush the transmission. We're gonna flush the transmission with new fluid afterwards, and then it should take care of all this. This is an all-wheel drive flavor, so it affects two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So cylinder deactivation has an M in the 8th digit, 2.5 liter with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Those are the affected vehicles. This is covered under warranty. This vehicle has, I don't have the mileage. There's no mileage here. So I'll get the mileage. I'll let you know what it has. But this one is covered under powertrain warranty. So it's going to be a pretty big job because of the all-wheel drive. It's going to make it a little bit harder to pull that transmission out. We need to, of course, drop the subframe and then wrestle with that transmission, the all-wheel drive, and do all that stuff. We need to get thrashing because this is going to take all day. So let's get ready to rumble! Oh no. This vehicle has 58,000 miles on it, and it is covered under powertrain. Powertrain ends at 60,000 miles. This one is within powertrain warranty. This is a Bulletin. This is not a warranty extension. It is not a recall. It is not a campaign. It is just a Bulletin. So if you're not covered under warranty, you can still get this Bulletin done, but it's not going to be warranty. Because it is a Bulletin, and it's not a campaign or a recall or a warranty extension. I gotta get thrashing on this thing because it's gonna take forever. Y'all have seen me pull subframes out before, dropping transmissions and stuff like that. I'm just gonna get on and just start knocking it out, and we'll see what comes up. This is where we are with this thing. So of course you saw, got the subframe down, need to take the axles out. This one, you know, goes all the way in there, so I'm probably gonna have to pull this off here so I can take this off separately. So when looking in MGSS, pulling this transmission out for this procedure, it doesn't say anything about taking the transfer case off, power transfer unit, PTO, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't say anything about taking the catalytic converter out, but we got catalytic converter hooked to bracket, hooked to power transfer unit, which is also hooked to the engine here. There's one bolt way back in there, and it's up in here this way. I don't think you can see it. Yeah, I can kind of see it up in there. I don't have any other bell housing bolts over there, but I mean, I pulled, you know, blindly pulled, you know, transfer case bolts out and bell housing bolts, you know, out in the past. You know, it's not that big of a deal. It's just getting it off. Am I going to be able to get it off? We'll find out. I'll just start taking this thing apart and see where we get. So, I mean, you know, you know, less hassle is better. I'll take more stuff apart if it's less hassle, but sometimes, you know, just one little tiny tweak here and there makes things easier. So we'll see. I have to take the starter off so we can get the torque converter bolts off. And then, of course, we need to go back up on top and get all these hoses and all that stuff off of there. So I am going to try and figure this out right here, and then we'll let it down and then deal with the hoses and stuff, you know, wires and tubes and stuff up on top there. So let's go. Check this out. Once I got this axle out, I noticed this. See that right there? Looks like somebody used a 5/64 Matco stepper drill bit to start a pilot hole, and then they used a 21mm hole saw, and it looks like they pulled the drill bit out of the hole saw to finish it up so they wouldn't drill through that bolt right there. But I mean, I don't know how they would do that or why, but I mean, it looks like we can get a 14 socket. Let me see if my socket fits. 14mm socket. Stick that up in there. Yep, look at that. It fits. It's perfect. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's going to help us. So now I just need to get these two 14mm bolts out, and then that 10mm. This is just a piece of aluminum foil up there that I can bend up. It's just a heat shield on top of this stuff right here. And then this transfer case can come off, and this bracket right here, which is bolted to the engine block, can stay there. And the catalytic converter doesn't have to come off. Only thing I got to worry about is that bolt that's way back there that you can't see, but I can get that out. So I have no idea. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it off. I need to get this this mount. I need to put the transmission into neutral and get the rear drive shaft off, and then we need to let it down and, you know, get everything. We should probably do that first. Get everything off on top, and then we'll bring it back up and then deal with this. I still need to take this starter off and get the torque converter bolts out. So let's do that now. Okay, here is where we are at. I got the transmission jack sitting underneath the transmission. I have the screw jack sitting up underneath the oil pan. I have the thing hanging by the front mount. I have a block of wood sitting right there. Yeah, just to let you know, this is not the way Mazda says to do it. They want you to hang the engine from the top, pull the cowl panel and everything, and put a big hanger going across the top, and then hang the engine. Although, you know, Mazda doesn't like to put, you know, engine hanger loops on their engines, on the Skyactiv engines. You know, I don't know why. It's like, hang the engine. Well, where are you going to grab it? You can't hook a chain on anything unless you go find some special tool that can hook up to that, that's a loop that, you know, yeah, we got that? No. That's gone many, many years ago. But anyway, everything is up here like this. I have one bolt right there hanging on, and that is it. I am going to take this bolt off, try and get this transmission out. I might stick a block of wood here or something, maybe. Not sure. We'll see how this transmission likes to sit on this jack. So that bolt right there is part of the transfer case. So, and I got these bolts off up here. So we'll see how this goes. So if it don't want to come off because of the transfer case, then yeah, we gotta, yeah, you know. So let's see what happens. Get that one bolt out. Where is my 14mm socket?
Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens if I even got all the bolts off. I mean, from what I can tell, they're off of there. Unless there's one hidden behind here, which I don't see if there is. So let's see. Let's see if I can pry this thing off. What are we hanging on? There might be a bolt under there. I may have to take this thing off anyway, after all that. I only saw one bolt. I mean, from what I remember with that CX-3 that we took the transmission, well, we replaced the engine. I don't remember there being a bolt under there. Yeah, it's not moving at all. Let me look into this. Okay. Okay. So I got it. There was a bolt that was way back there, trying to find out where it was and stuff like that. I ended up loosening this bracket right here, which is a lot looser now because I got that bolt loose. I had to pull this off. You know, so that's how it goes. You know, that's what I get for, you know, what did I say? Oh, I've taken blind bolts out before, you know. So then I get stuck with one. It's my fault for trying to make it easier, but still, I would still do it this way, you know, especially since someone, you know, made that hole right there. So here it is. It's coming loose. Let's see if I can get it off without dropping it. Come on. Okay, I know it's gonna get stuck on the transfer case. Gotta come up sideways. That bolt. Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. Hang on. Hang on. The bolt. The blind bolt. She's still hanging on. Maybe, can I pull this thing out? No. What's going on here? I got another bolt hanging on here somewhere. What's that doing? No. I mean, it's... What do you need? What are we hanging on to? I don't know. I don't know what this is. But, okay. Don't forget, this has to go on before the transfer case gets put into place. Thanks to that one bracket. So all of this could have been avoided from the beginning if Mazda had designed the catalytic converter without this bracket. Don't put that bracket on. You don't put that bracket. I mean, it has a bracket on the side that hooked on. Why do you need this? So without this bracket, this could come off easily. But no, we gotta put extra brackets. Let's see if I can loosen this. Let's see if that's even doing anything. Yeah, it is. It's off. Why won't it come off? I mean, it's spinning. I got all this stuff out here on the floor that keeps this thing from moving back. Come on, get down, get out of there. got something, no? That's it. That's pretty much all we needed. So there's the torque converter. So we're just gonna pull this out, put the new one in. Got everything off of here. This all looks good. Transfer case. There's where the blind bolt goes, which is still up in there, right there. So now I just need to pull this torque converter off somehow without killing myself, because it's heavy. You know, once I pull it off, oh, look at that. The transmission is going to want to go. I need to stick something under here. Okay. Okay, the first thing I want to do, I'm thinking. I just want to make sure that I can, hang on. I need to measure this, or I get some kind of measurement on this torque converter inside the transmission, because I'm going to try and move it from right there and move it from right here. And I want to make sure that I get it down all the way. So if I were to stick this thing straight across, let's just say right here. Let's just go right here. Let me get a Sharpie. I'm going to use this as kind of like a little template ruler. Cardboard template ruler going right across. Right there. Mark it on both sides, just to make sure that I get the torque converter down all the way. I know that there's a measurement that you can take going across here to the torque converter, you know, but then that requires looking up information in MGSS, and that takes time, and it could take forever to find it. So I can reach my fingers around here and I cannot fit them in, so I'll just kind of use my finger as a measurement. So let's pull this out of here. Just pull it right out, you know. I mean, it's light, nice, and will this work? Can I do this without pulling the transmission off of the transmission stand? Can I somehow just like grab it? Yeah, here it comes. Hopefully the transmission doesn't fall off the back whenever I take all this weight off of it. I think it's all right. There it goes. It's light. Okay, let's look at this. Here's the inside of the torque converter. Of course, it's filled with fluid, and this stuff stinks. It smells bad. And you know, FZ fluid is blue, but this is not blue, and it ends up turning this color. Anyway, all FZ fluid does. This stuff smells. Yeah, it smells. It smells bad. It doesn't smell like real bad, like burnt up transmission, but it definitely smells bad. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna flush this transmission out. Here's the new torque converter. Let me open this up. Make sure that it is the right part number. Foxtrot Zulu Charlie 19119 Alpha. Yep. There is a transmission, and it's got fluid all over it. Transmission, it's a torque converter. Okay, let me get this thing out of here. Okay, let's look at this. Well, my light's going flying. So, here's the new one. These edges right here. You see that flat spot right there, and there's another one right over here. So those drive the pump. When that goes in there, it has to go into the pump. I know that you probably can't see this, but way inside there, I went ahead and I moved it around so that those flat edges are right here, like right up here on top and right here on the bottom. I'm gonna try and get the thing straight in so I don't have to keep twisting and twisting and twisting, and to see if we can get it all the way down. And that will be a win. Just picking the thing up is a win. So let's see if I can get that thing up in here. And I gotta remember which spots. Just when I think I've put enough pressure to lift the thing, I still have to push harder.
We'll send Jimmy home unless you're dead.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, let's see. Is it straight? Wait. Is it straight? I think it is. Transfer case is in the way. I mean, it's hard enough to do this when it's on the floor. I'm trying to do it above my head, practically. Right there. Is that it? Let's see. Let me get my little professional gauge. Going across. Nope. It is definitely not. I still got some. It's still not down. It's not down into the pump. Yeah. Everything is in the way. Trying to move this around to get it to line up. Come on. Nope. Come on. Where is it? I don't want them. Nope. I can still get my fingers around it. Where did it go? I'm sure it moved from where I had it. Couldn't have moved that far, right? Great. I'm gonna have to pull the thing down more. Nope. The whole idea was to not have to move this thing around, take a chance of dropping the transmission off the stand, off the transmission jack. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this further down. I just can't reach it. I just don't have the strength. Oh, there it is. Yes! It bit my fingers, that's how I knew it. So let me get my technical measuring gauge. Yep. So let me show you this now that I got the thing down. Here's my technical measuring gauge. Keep that flat along there, and the line is right inside. It's right inside where I put that line. So, and it's the same way over here. Of course, you know, is it there or is it not? Yeah, it's there. It's just the best I could do with the Sharpie. So, that's it. That's that's my measuring device. See, I got the arrow pointing towards the transmission. So, yeah, that's in. I can't fit my fingers on the other side at all anymore. So, let me get this back up in here. This is where the blind bolt goes. Luckily, there's a dowel pin right there, so that's gonna help it line up. So, it's gonna help the bolt actually thread in. So, let me get this back up in there and get it in and put it all back together. Okay, I got it in. I got this thing. I pulled it in, and then I thought I had enough room to get this thing in there, and I didn't, and I had to take it out, and then I put it back in, and then this thing got stuck, and I had to loosen it up, and then put it back in, and so, yeah, I got this tight up here. Got that one tight, this one tight, and basically, oh, you know, I don't know if you can even see this, but as long as this moves, like that, then I know I ain't got any pressure on the torque converter, so that's good. So this is perfect. Now we just get it all put back together. Let's go. Okay, this is where we are. I got the thing down on all fours, so, which is a good thing. I got all this put back together. I got coolant in it. I did pull a vacuum on the cooling system, and I'm starting to put transmission fluid in. I got 15 quarts of fluid here. So what we have to do is I'm gonna put like 4 to 5 quarts of transmission fluid in there. I need to get the thing up to operating temperature. I need to do a transmission relearn procedure. Once I do that, I have to get it on the lift. I'm gonna put it on the lift. I'm gonna drive it for 20 miles, 20 miles an hour for 3 minutes. Then I'm gonna turn it off, raise it up, drain all the fluid, then put new fluid in it again, run it up the operating temperature. I guess I need to read the thing again. I need to run it for 20 miles an hour, at 20 miles an hour for 3 minutes again. I'm gonna do that 3 times. And that's gonna flush it out. That's what they want you to do. If you notice I'm kind of in a hurry on this job, well, the job pays 10 hours. Yeah, that's what it pays on a warranty, 10 hours for the 2.5 liter all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, and that's what this is. Man, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and get it to operating temperature, and then I'll do the relearn procedure, and I'll show you how we do that. It's different. It's not like doing it on the CX-90. It's a little bit different, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start it up, and I need to make sure I get at least the top of the box. So I'm not gonna put the entire air box in here because I got this funnel going into the transmission down there, and the air box is in the way, but I need to get the top of the box on because I got the mass airflow sensor, and I have to plug in the mass airflow sensor. You guys know what happens when you drive a Skyactiv vehicle, a Skyactiv engine with no mass airflow hooked up. Yeah, ghosts. Yeah, ghost codes. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that right now. Okay, I get this thing running. I got it to operating temperature. That's hot. I filled it with transmission fluid. I got the IDS sticking up over here. Hang on. Okay, had the radio going. Had to turn it off. I'm not gonna go through that again with YouTube. No, somebody playing a radio in the background, you know, they want to demonetize my video anyway. So 140 degrees, I know you can't see this, 140 to 230 degrees Fahrenheit is what we needed to get the transmission to operating temperature. We're actually at 158 degrees. So we're at the temperature we need to be. So with this thing, it's not we're not doing a relearn procedure where you're doing what they call initial learning procedure. And usually this is something that you do whenever you replace the transmission, or let me see, if you're replacing the control valve body, oil pressure switch, clutch, low clutch, high clutch, R3, 5 brake, 2, 6 brake, and low and reverse brake. Those are all transmission internal parts. And or automatic transmission. Doesn't say anything about doing it for replacing a torque converter, but this bulletin says to do it, you know, so we're going to do that first. So in the self-test, we need to select self-test and select module. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me turn this off. Turn it off. Turn the heater off. Man, it's hot. I got the heater on. Turn on the AC and then turn it off. Okay, turn off the vehicle. Turn the key on. I am gonna come through here, do self-test. Going to pick the TCM, transmission control module, right there. Key on, demand self-test. So what does it say? Select transmission module, control module, select retrieve CMDTCs. And we'll see if there's any codes in there. I don't think there are going to be any codes, but this is just getting into the first stages of doing the initial learning procedure. We need to perform the following steps: 1 to 5. Shift the selector lever to drive. When the delete button on the MMDS DTC screen is pressed and the screen returns to the DTC display screen, shift the selector lever to the M position, manual position, within 10 seconds. You got that? Okay, so we don't have any codes, right? So I'm gonna start the vehicle, and they say let it run for 30 seconds first. So I got it running, let it run for 30 seconds. What I'm gonna do is it doesn't have any codes. Let's see if I can pull this thing over here. But it doesn't have any codes, but I'm gonna select clear codes. Okay, right there where that little eraser is, I'm gonna select clear codes. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna try to clear the codes that aren't in there, and you know, that's normal. MDARS won't do that. MDARS is like, hey, there ain't any codes, so I ain't gonna do nothing, you know. But this IDS will. So it'll try and clear the codes and then recheck codes. That's the way it does. So once it clears the codes, then it rechecks codes, and then it comes back to this screen right here. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this thing into drive. I'm going to shift it down into drive. I'm going to hit that clear codes button. When the thing comes back to these are the codes that you have or don't have or whatever, as soon as it does that, I'm going to shift this selector into the manual, into M. And right there where it says P, it will say M1. And then that's when that happens, then the RPM should raise, and that's when it starts the initial learning. And if the engine does not increase from idle, switch the ignition off and basically start again. This whole time I need to put my foot on the brake and hold my foot on the brake really hard. Make sure that the thing is on. That's what it says to do. If I were to release the brake, it would stop everything. So then you verify the engine speed returns to idle, and the M1 is displayed after the shift position indicator and the gear position indicator flashes 2 times. So that's you know, that's their translation. That's just the way you gotta try and figure out what they're saying. What are you saying? You know, so that thing that's gonna say it's gonna flash twice. The M1. Once that happens, then it's done, and then we can shift the thing back into park, and we can turn it off. Look at this. The vehicle's trying to make a phone call, so it has ghost touch. This thing's sitting here. I mean, I've cleared this a couple times. I've put it into the main menu, and it always goes to phone. It always goes to phone. It's always trying to make a phone call. It's trying to call, you know, order pizza. You know, luckily the owner's not here, and it, you know, it doesn't have communication with their phone. So, okay, the vehicle's running. I'm going to. Oh wait, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this thing into drive. Got my foot on the brake. I'm pushing on the brake really hard. I'm gonna come over here, clear the code. It says you don't have any code. You sure you want to clear code? Yeah, I want to clear codes. So I'm watching it. I'm watching it. I'm watching it, and it takes a little while. As soon as the thing comes back, right there, we'll shift it. Okay, now it just says M right there, and the RPMs have come up. So I'm just gonna sit here, it's doing its own thing. And then after a little while, the RPM should go down. This should flash M1 twice, or something like that. Or maybe that M's gonna flash twice. Let's see what happens. Okay, that was it. That was twice. So it's still in M1. I'm gonna push it in the park, and I'm going to turn the key off. Okay, so that's initial learning, and that's the way you do it. Sometimes, if the transmission has kind of this fuzzy logic thing, you know, it learns how you drive to give you the best experience, the nicest shift possible, you know. And of course, if you drive it like you stole it all the time, it's going to have harsher shifts, you know, because it wants you to have the power. If you drive it like Granny, it's going to have nice soft shifts. Now, if 2 people drive it, Granny's driving it, you know, and this kid's driving it like they stole it, you know, and it can kind of get confused. It's like, wait a second, am I supposed to shift it like Granny or shift it like it stole it, you know? So sometimes when that happens, you'll start to get these harsh shifts, you know, harsh downshifts. You're driving, all of a sudden, boom, you know, it's like, what the heck's going on? A lot of times, if you redo that initial learning procedure, it'll clear all that stuff out, and it relearns itself, and then it starts that fuzzy logic over again. So now I need to put the thing on the lift and drive it. I'm going to drive it on the lift. It's going to set a bunch of codes and stuff. I'm going to turn the traction control off, but because it's an all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or whatever, it's going to set a bunch of codes, and there's going to be lights on and stuff, and Mazda knows that's going to happen. I'm going to do it on the lift. I'm not going to take it out and drive it for 3 minutes for 20 miles an hour. Just drive it for 20 miles an hour right here on the lift. So that's what I'm going to do. And let me get this set up. I don't need to disconnect the IDS. Let me get it off the ground, and we'll start doing that. Okay, I got it off the ground. All right, I'm gonna climb in here, start it up, turn the traction control off. Says traction control off. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put it in drive. Take off, and 20 miles an hour. Well, it'll be over 20 miles an hour. You got rear wheel drive? Yeah, rear wheels are turning. I did hook up the drive shaft, so I'm gonna run this for 3 minutes, and then we'll what are we gonna do? We're gonna drain the fluid. So I'll be right back. Okay, it's been over 3 minutes. We got Mark Brady, Smart City brake support disabled due to poor visibility of the camera or whatever. You know, we got some stuff flashing on the dashboard. Anyway, I got it in park. Let's turn it off and let's drain the fluid. Okay, here we are back under the vehicle. I'm gonna drain this hot fluid out. I've already replaced this seal once. I'm gonna replace it if it comes off. Yeah, so I will definitely replace it the last time. It has a new seal on it, but I'll put another one. So that is hot. Ooh yeah, hot. And I don't know if you could see that fluid. It's definitely not blue anymore. It was blue, you know, just a little while ago. Just looks like regular fluid. Somewhere in here is the drain plug. Yep, that's hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drain it. Then I'll fill it again, run it again, 20 miles an hour for 3 minutes. Then I'll drain it. Then I'll fill it for the last time, and I will get it to the full mark where it's supposed to be, and then I will make sure I clear any codes, anything that may have set from driving the thing on the rack. I still got the engine undercover and all that stuff I need to put on, and then and I got these things, I gotta put all this stuff back together. So then we'll drive it and see if it makes that squawk noise, you know. There's no way that you could have possibly heard that noise. There's no way I can record it. It's so hard. When this first started happening years ago, Mazda would make us record that sound. And when they heard the sound in the recording, then they would say, okay, we'll replace the transmission. Trying to get that recording was just impossible. It felt like, you know, I mean, you're gonna die. You're driving, you know, with a tablet sticking on the dashboard to try and get a recording. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Anyway, we'll do that. Let me do that, and then we'll drive it, and we'll see if it still makes that noise. Hopefully it doesn't. So we'll see what happens. Okay, this is possibly the last quart of transmission fluid. You can see this FZ fluid. See how it's blue in color? It does not stay blue for very long at all. As you can tell, we ran the thing and then drained it and it wasn't blue anymore. And that was only after 3 minutes of running at 20 miles an hour. So I'm gonna adjust this level, and then once it's done, we're gonna go drive it. All right, we are about to get on the highway here, on the access road. Let's see what happens. Between third and fourth gear, you would hear a squawk and it would kind of almost like slip, maybe flare a little bit. Let's see. That's first, second. Perfect. No squawk, no weird noise, no flare, nothing, no slipping. Of course, it was really hard to hear it. And I can move it to fourth gear, fifth, sixth. And of course it's starting to rain. So that's good. I mean, it's shifting good. It's very smooth. It's like a granny shift, which is perfect. That's what we want. You know, once you do that initial learning, you shouldn't take it out and drive it like you stole it, because then it's just going to mess up the fuzzy logic. You know, give it some time. Drive like a normal person, and it will relearn the way that you drive it. It'll shift fine, and that's what it's doing. It's shifting fine. I was kind of worried because I was driving it, you know, 20 miles an hour on the lift. I didn't want to accidentally, you know, drive it weird or something like that and make it, you know, want to shift crazy or something. But no, it's fine. It had some codes stuck in it. I went ahead and I cleared all the codes. It had some codes because I was driving it on the lift. One of the codes it has for sure is for the CMU, for the ghost touch. Yeah, the thing's still trying to call out for pizza or something like that. So that's pretty much it. Let's head back to the shop. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Torque converter, replace. The vehicle, it's a 2020 CX-5, has 58,275 miles on it now. Covered under warranty. The job pays well because it has a transfer case, because it is a 2.5 liter all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and it has that transfer case, the PTO, power transfer unit, whatever you want to call it. It pays 10 hours to do this job under warranty. If it was a two-wheel drive, it would pay 7.7 hours. So why does it pay 10 hours? Because you got to take the catalytic converter off, and you have to take the power transfer unit or transfer case off to get the transmission out. We didn't do either, you know, so we saved some time by not taking those off. A good thing there was that like little hole in the bracket for the catalytic converter bracket. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but that helped us. You know, we were able to get that one bolt. That's all you need. I mean, you know, of course you saw how difficult it was to sneak that other bolt out of the back there, but it's easily doable. You know, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Just a little bit of fiddling, you know, and not that big of a deal. Sure beats having to pull, you know, a catalytic converter out and a transfer case or whatever. If you pull the catalytic converter out, you could get the thing out with the transfer case on it. You know, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just one bolt that needed to come out. The bracket was in the way. But yeah, 7.7 versus 10 hours. Yeah, just because of one bolt. So not that bad. The last I looked, we were at 7.8 hours working on this job. So not bad at all. That includes me going to lunch, because yeah, it's pizza day. You know, it's Saturday here. The dealership provides lunch and it's pizza. So, you know, I'm gonna stop and eat. But that's pretty much it for this job. I thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. I thank you so much for watching the videos. It means a lot to me. It really does. And you know, stick around. I got more videos to come. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.